Welcome back to Romantasy Chaos HQ, the pod. We are Avery and Xavier Harleston, healthcare professionals by day, romantasy theorists, and aspiring authors by night. Today we are covering the epigraph from Fourth Wing, Chapter 5. This is your warning. There will be spoilers for the entire Empyrean series. If you have not read all three books, it may be time to turn back. We are not rated E for everyone. Xavier has a degree in cussing, and he is not afraid to use it. And we will discuss any and all adult topics covered in the books. We like a challenge, so we tackle each epigraph without prepping, placing it into context for the whole series, not just the book or chapter it's tied to, but you don't have to take it cold. So here's our post-recording one-sentence summary of the chapter. Paromish Griffin attacks in the Esben Mountains force Violet to use her scribe training during her first battle brief, but her encyclopedic knowledge is useless when she faces Imogen on the mat during assessment day and ends up with a broken arm. There are 6 minutes on the clock and more Fourth Wing lore than you can stuff into the battle brief hall. So don't blink, don't scroll, don't let Taryn distract you. We have 360 seconds to blow your mind.
Go.
Knowing I am in direct disagreement with General Melgren's orders, I am officially objecting to the plan set forth in today's briefing. It is not this general's opinion that the children of the rebellion's leaders should be forced to witness their parents' executions. No child should watch their parent put to death. The Tirish Rebellion, an official brief for King Tari by General Lilith Sorrengail.
So, I think we can definitely trust this one as accurate and meant to be what it said. But the fact that Rebecca Yaros wrote that epigraph, knowing that all of Lilith's children were going to watch her die, is heartbreaking.
I didn't even think I have something else to say. But let's go talk about that for a minute. Heartbreaking. And the compassion and empathy that Lilith shows in this, while being completely professional and not emotional in any way, shape, or form, she comes off cold as ice. But obviously, she has compassion and empathy for these children whose parents are being put to death as traitors. I think that's something that has always been a part of her. This, however, was before Asher's death. I think Asher's death really, really changed her quite a bit. Violet says so. We have no way of knowing how much, but when we later get more correspondence between Lilith and Asher and whatnot, we see that she is this actually very warm, loving person, at least for her family. But all throughout Fourth Wing and half of Iron Flame, she's cast as kind of this like cold-hearted bitch, right?
Well, and I think is super important that this is before Asher's death. This is before, you know,
It was immediately after Brennan's death, though.
and she is being, again, very dragon rider generally, but motherly, and saying this is not what we should be doing to children. Like, this is not
Yeah.
the Navarre I'm trying to represent.
In the middle of her grief, in the middle of mourning the loss of her child, she's still able to have compassion for these children. But what I think, changing gears a little, what's important is that it was Melgren's order that the children be there. And this was obviously unusual. It was, unusual enough that even, Lilith had to essentially appeal to the king, lodge an objection with the king, because that is not apparently typical. Why would Melgren require the children to be at their parents' execution, do you think?
Because Melgren is a rebellion asset. And Coda is bonded to all of those relic children because the relic was described as feeling like the dragon relic from Sigil by Xaden, that the only time he felt anything similar to the rebellion relic was with Sigil, which definitely to me implies that it's a dragon bond.
Like, what we can say for sure, because we learn more about runes, is that the stones that the children held were a delayed activation rune. What activated them? Coda's dragonfire. The result of that was creating some sort of bond and giving them their rebellion relic. But Melgren had to have known that the children were required to be there for this magic to work. Now, whether it actually does what we're told it does, which is block them from, being seen by Melgren, is a whole other topic. But he had to have known that their presence was required for this magic to take place. Or else, why would he require such an unusual thing? And that's why we can say one of the many reasons why we think he's actually a secret rebellion asset. He is working in league with the rebellion, still doing questionable things, still doing things that may look like he's opposing the rebellion in order to maintain his position. But certainly this was done because he knew that the runes would only be activated if the children were there when their parents were executed.
Well, and we know that Melrin mentions that he has seen the need for Xaden and Violet in a battle, but never mentioned when or how early he can see or how strong his signet is. I mean, so he has an intrinsic signet, and the only person that actually knows what's going on are him and maybe Coda, right? And they're not telling anybody anything they don't want to know because we know that the dragons and the humans hide information about the intrinsic signets. So this epigraph is hugely important from the overall plot that Melgrin and King Tari wanted to execute the rebellion members, and that Melgren and Coda did it and allowed the runes to be activated and some sort of magical bond to occur.
And we know a bond is simply a magical tie. There are many types of bonds. There's dragon rider bonds, there's mate bonds, there's apparently partner bonds. But now we can also say that this is a new type of magical tie that we don't necessarily have a name for, but something is connecting Coda to the kids that bear this mark, and especially important that the baby was born with it.
Yeah, and if they can hide from Melgren, it's still a bond to Melgren. It's still a magical connection between them. And we are just about out of time. So what's the last thing?
Oh no, what is?
That rebellion assets are real.
Oh, for sure. So that's it from us. Did we blow your mind? Let us know in the comments. And remember, we love you. Stay out of the clouds, off the ice, and come back to us. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.